Visit tcgcastle.com and get 5% discount on your first purchase with TCG Center 5 code. How's it going, guys? Once again, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, we'll be looking at the deck for the expanded format. So looks like I'm gonna switch from the standard to the expanded, and looks like I'm gonna dedicate more time to the decks in the expanded format. This is one of my favorite decks of the all time. I can definitely tell you that. I spent so much time playing this deck, and to be honest, it's just brilliant. I mean, of course, against the item lock, it's not gonna be that good, but there is a very small amount of the decks that can be good against Trevenant item lock. But this one can be pretty decent if you can open first and set it Archie turn 1 for the Omastar, or maybe hit couple Aerodactyls, or start with a Talonflame and have that Aerodactyl turn 1 with the Old Emperor double course energy, so you can just knock out your opponent Trevenant turn 2 with a single shot. That can actually give you a slightly advantage against that item lock, but overall 80-20 to that Trevenant. But against any other deck, I feel very comfortable playing it, and I can definitely tell that the deck list is very consistent, which means that there is probably not going to be a game where you're going to drop very bad with it. So you should definitely see that in my next 3 videos that I actually record and played almost 1 hour of pure gameplay with this build. So what is very interesting about it? Definitely the fact that this is a restored Pokemon, which means that Crystal Ray will not affect him. So you can go for the 120 with a single double course energy, and you can discard a special energy attached to your opponent active Pokemon. You have free retreat, weakness on the lightnings, and of course resistance -20. With the free retreat, you can have very huge amount of the options, switching from one to another Aerodactyl, from Aerodactyl to Talonflame, from Aerodactyl to Quaking Punch, Seismitoad. 4 copies of Talonflame also for the Gale Wings and Aeroblitz. If you can start turn 1 with the Talonflame, you can just have that Aeroblitz for 40 or 60, depending on the muscle band, and be able to take 2 cards from your deck into your hand. This can be a very good advantage, especially to set that Archie's, Octillery, or Omastar. Then I'm running only 1 copy of Omastar with Restoring Beam, which will allow me to restore Aerodactyl from my deck onto my bench. 1 Octillery with a Beazle Hand, so I can drop till I have 5. It will depend on the situation where you maybe not gonna need Omastar, or where you're gonna actually need Octillery. But also 1 copy of that Omastar Break with Dangerous Tentacle, who can actually evolve into the Omastar and pull your opponent EXs from bench into the active position. So I definitely like that. I also think a little bit about maybe 1 Empoleon with the Diving Draw, I think it is. It's a ability where you can discard a card from your hand and drop 2 cards each turn. But also powerful attack and 10 for each Pokemon in play. So in theory you can go with 1 energy for 120. But I then just decide to take Octillery because it's better drop support, and in case of the end I can have cards that I have 5 and much more resources. I decide to go with the Seismitoad as the starter because he can use the advantage of the Quaking Punch and Grenade Hammer, so in that case I can also prevent my opponent from being able to play item cards turn 1, so very good decision in my opinion. 12 Pokemon, 40 trainer cards, and 8 energies. Let's take a look at the item list because it's very huge. 1 copy of Battle Compressor. Probably a lot of people should say this deck cannot work with only 1 Battle Compressor. This is just a lie. You don't know anything about it, but trust me, 1 Battle Compressor is all you need. 2 are gonna be probably a sweet spot, but I couldn't have space for the second one, so I just decided to go with 1 because I feel like the 1 is also pretty good. Computer Search, of course, as the ace spec, no doubt about that. You can search any card, discarding 2 cards from your hand. Single Escape Rope can bring you victory from nowhere because it can help you to just escape with Omastar or Octillery or Seismitoad from the active position in case you don't have Float Stone to your Aerodactyl. It can also maybe force your opponent to promote his EX with low HP, so you can go for 2-price knockout. A lot of different possibilities with the Escape Rope. 2 copies of Fossil Excavation Kit, which will allow you to take up to 2 Old Embers Aerodactyls from your disco pile. Old Ember Aerodactyl times 4, look at this bottom 7 cards of your deck. If there is a Aerodactyl, you can put it onto your bench. Of course, 4 copies of Pixel Puzzles, no doubt about it. Single Special Charge to recycle 2 special energies from disco pile back into deck. 1 Startling Megaphone to get rid of all tools. Single Super Rod, of course, for those Aerodactyls and basic water energies. Target Whistle times 1. We all know what Target Whistle is capable to do in the expanded against those Jirachis and against Shamans. It's pretty much easy to price knock on for the Aerodactyl. And then 4 copies of Ultra Balls and 4 copies of V-Seeker and 3 copies of the V-Seeker for this build, not 4 copies. I always play 4 copies, but this is the first time that I actually play 3 V-Seekers in this deck. And I must say that no need more than 3 V-Seekers. That's just fantastic. Stadium card, 2 copies of Twist Mountain. Once during each player turn, that player might flip a coin if heads plays, that player put restore Pokemon from his or her hand down to the bench. Which means that if you have Twist Mountain in play and Aerodactyl in your hand, you flip a coin, you can just put Aerodactyl like a boss on the bench, and that's pretty much it. 2 Archies, just in case if one is prized. That's the reason why 2 makes a lot of sense. A single Hex Maniac to help a little bit against those Trevenants, Wild Plumes, but also in a matchup against Ranger Break. More than that, and 1 copy of Lysander, 3 copies of N, 4 Juniper, so 4 Sycamores. I need to switch them with the Juniper definitely, because when I play expanded format, I always say Juniper instead of the Sycamore. So yeah, I really like that Professor Juniper full art. More than that, 1 copy of Teammates, which is very good card for this deck. After you suffer the knockout, you can just search your deck for any 2 cards put into your hand. So yeah, pretty much anything. It can be 2 pieces of puzzles, it can be any 2 cards. A single Float Stone for the free retreat, 1 Muscle Band for extra 20 damage, and more than that, 8 energies. 4 of them are going to be double course energies, and 4 of them are going to be water basic energies. So overall, I think I played, I don't know, probably over 100 games with this deck, and I have 80% of the win ratio with it. The biggest concern for me is definitely Trevenant item log, because it's very hard to play against it. Sometimes I can even win Trevenant item log, but that's just very limited, and it's pretty much when I'm starting first. But against any other deck, this list just works perfect. So I highly recommend to everyone who say that this deck sucks and this deck does not work to import this list on the TCGO and to test it a little bit and play with it and to see how this deck is actually good and consistent, because even myself sometimes it's very surprised how this deck is good. So in today's video I played 3 different games with one of my subscribers and one of my friends on TCGO. So I managed to win 2 games, lost 1 game, but yeah, that's because I actually underrated my opponent deck, and my advice definitely to everyone, don't do that to your opponent. Never judge your opponent deck because you probably regret doing that. So always be very respectful to everyone against you play. So let's do those game tests so you can actually see this deck in the action. So guys, see you in the game. Alright guys, so starting with the Talonflame, also including 2 Old Embers, Ultra Ball and Sycamore for turn 1. I think this is a very good turn 1 for me, especially with the Ultra Ball and the chance to discard Octillery and Omastar on my turn 1. I can also search my deck with the Ultra Ball for the Seismitoad, but somehow I don't feel I'm gonna do that. Communication for exchange Virizion into that Darkrai. 1 Blend Energy attached, so he can retreat. And that's gonna be another Ultra Ball. Karen and Darkness Energy discarded in exchange for a Aerodactyl EX. Okay, that's interesting. So Juniper for 7. Okay, the first Max Potion discarded, which is very important. There is 1 Dark Patch. Okay, already 2 energies in play. Another Ultra Ball, so this is a second Ultra Ball for a V-Seeker and 1 Blend Energy. That's fine. Another Darkrai. And one Tropical Beach. Well, that was a nice play. I'm gonna get my Ultra Ball for that N and for that Octillery. So I can grab my Omastar and I can discard it. And hopefully I'm gonna be able to play at least one copy of Aerodactyl on the bench. So there is the first one. Will there be the second? Yes, it will be. So 2 Aerodactyls. Well, that looks pretty promising. And Sycamore for 7. So I need just the basic energy or any kind of energy so I can just try to attack, but it looks like it's just not going to happen. This turn I'm not going to be able to use my Aero Blitz, but I have 3 Aerodactyls already. Maybe even 4. Well played. That's insane. This is just insane. Of course, right now I can just waste my resources here because I want to use the advantage of the Tropical Beach. There is no doubt about that. So Tropical Beach will be 2 extra cards for me. Energy and Target Whistle. Okay, I was very close for that energy, and I wish I had that energy so I could just Aero Blitz. But with 4 Aerodactyls on the bench, all I really need is that Omastar. That's just pretty much it. So I managed to hit 4 Aerodactyls with 4 Old Amber Aerodactyls. And that's what left me speechless here. Top deck Double Colors Energy for me is gonna be the best card I could get, so I can just knock out his Velas. On the other side, I guess he can just pass the turn. And still, somehow, I feel I'm gonna... Well, V-Seeker for another Professor Juniper. So 2 V-Seekers already played. What else he discarded? Rare Candy, Megaphone, Computer Search for Giratina. Oh, looks like, oh, nice. Giratina is discarded, so I don't need to worry too much about it anymore with my Dangerous Tentacle, but I'm so far away from doing that. 1 Shadow Circle, no weakness, Water Energy, 1 N, I guess, definitely. I need to refresh my hand. I need way much better resources here. 3 piece of puzzles. Makes a lot of sense. So I definitely need Archie here and Battle Compressor. Yeah, I can use Battle Compressor to discard Talonflames. Definitely. Definitely, I can do that. Let me see where it is. There it is. Okay, so with this hand, I'm definitely gonna be able to get my... Or maybe not. So he just decide to end me down to 6 cards again. I can definitely tell it's not that bad, but even with something like Archie in my hand, I simply cannot perform Archie Omastar here. So he used the Tropical Beach one more time. I'm gonna get top deck Water Energy, which somehow feels to me that I'm gonna throw away as many cards as I can. And I'm gonna play another N here. So I'm searching for the double cores energy, so I can at least knock out his Darkrai here, which is gonna be very important to do that. And for the next turn, I might be able to perform to perform that Omastar with the Archie. So another Talonflame and another double Course Energy. So double Course Energy, good resource. Talonflame not that good, but at least Ultra Ball can just discard him. And there we go. There is a 3 energies. There are 3 energies in the Dark Trance. Of course, this energy will go down to the Darkrai on the bench. He can use advantage of the one-hit knockup here without too many problems. The good thing is that I managed to set up, so that's the most important thing. But the bad thing is that he still have way too many max potions left. Archie, Seismitoad, Ultra Ball for Talonflame, and for Water Energy, of course, is gonna be for nothing. Then I can perform that energy attachment and the teammates for any 2 cards, and of course I'm gonna take Puzzle of Time, and of course I'm gonna take Float Stone if I have. Just wonder yourself and ask why. There we go. 1 Quaking Punch. 1 very important Quaking Punch, because I simply need to Quaking Punch my opponent twice and prevent him from being able to use advantage of the max potion. Of course, he's going to be able to do that with something like, okay, Colress for 7, with something like the Ranger. But 2 turns of the Quaking Punch will basically be enough for... okay, he decided to retreat and to attack me with his Dark Head Darkrai for 120. Which simply means that right now it's time for those Puzzle of Times to be played. So I can get that Super Rod maybe. I can get actually a max potion. No, I can get double Course Energy, and I can get Muscle Band. Okay, not bad. Knowing that Omastar is going to be the next card as a top deck, so Archie for that Omastar. There we go. So target whistle, nothing special. I still don't see shaming. However, I see Escape Rope. But I don't know, maybe I can go turn more with the Quaking Punch. Let's see what he can afford me with a Escape Rope. I think I'm gonna trade actually here with my opponent. Quaking Punch, definitely, because I can just knock out his Yveltal on the bench next turn, in theory. Okay, yes I can, but Night Spear for 90 and 30. Okay, never mind. Definitely energy attachment, definitely a VS Seeker for N. So I can put him down to 3 cards and maybe eliminate his options. I mean, I definitely need Hex Maniac, so I'm happy to see the Hex Maniac, but the question is, does he have that max potion in his hand? I don't know, but I know that I can't put another Aerodactyl in play, which means that I can retreat and strike with my Talonflame for 40. And somehow I feel I'm gonna do that. So 40 with that Aero Blitz, and I can get Battle Compressor, I can get a Twist Mountain in play, just to eliminate the threat of that Tropical Beach. But right now he actually needs to heal 2 Pokemons if he wants to use Max Potion, so there is 1 Pokemon Communication, so I might be able somehow to knock out his Darkrai with 3 energies here, or at least his Yveltal with 2 energies, or he can just grab another Yveltal and just use that Dark Trance and knock on my Talonflame, and goes down to 2 prize cards. But in this situation I have almost a clearly way to win, with my Hex Maniac in hand and with my Dangerous Tentacle. No, there is a Max Potion, so that was a catch. That was the biggest catch here. So Dark Pulse for 120. Battle Compressor, Target Whistle, Startling Megaphone, Special. I guess I don't need Ultra Ball anymore because I don't need it. More than that, I can use Dangerous Tentacle, I can Hex Maniac, I can just go for 120. And I'm gonna lose one of my attackers. I need to play my Hex Maniac right now. And it's gonna be very tight. Really, it's gonna be very tight. I can assume that he does not have the Seeker or something in his hand, so I'm gonna use just the Jet Draft right now. Or I'm gonna actually Dangerous Tentacle and strike for the 40, but I can't. But I can discard 1 energy at least. Yeah, never mind. I thought I should actually strike for 40, and he had the Johnny Purr. I hope that he does not have another Max Potion in his hand, because that Max Potion is going to be very critical. Because he's going to take... there's a Darkrai. This is going to be a knockout with Dark Pulse for 120. Okay, so a Hex Maniac. Oh, I almost play Hex Maniac. Whew. First Dangerous Tentacle, of course. Then the Hex Maniac. And then the Jet Draft for 140, which will be enough for the knockout. For 2 prize cards for me, of course. And then all I really need is just a double Course Energy or another energy, and Dangerous Tentacle, and knockout against his Yveltal with 120. And that's pretty much it. So it's all about that Sycamore, but I know that I have double Course Energy and a regular Water Energy card left in my deck, so with 7 cards, I think I'm going to be able to do that, everything that I need. So it's just all about if he's going to be able to get somehow that Hex Maniac in play, or somehow to scoop his Yveltal-EX. But more than that, if he can't do that, then the game is over, because he can't even use that Dark Night Spear to knock out both Pokemons that I have left in play, my Aerodactyl and my Talonflame, because he's affected with the Hex Maniac. A V-Seeker for a Colress. Whew. So it looks like I managed to survive somehow. Still, he can take the risk finding that Max Potion and healing completely damage off from his Yveltal. In that case, he's going to be able to strike for only 20, 40, 60, 80. Well, still enough. Energy from hand in that Dark Patch, maybe for the victory with his Dark Cloak. Will there be enough? Just a Dark Pulse for 140. And it's all about it. It's all about it. So, Sycamore for 7 better be good. Twist Mountain. All the Amber just to see. Oh, I even have Computer Search, but I don't have Double Course Energy left. So I'm gonna play Special Charge. I'm gonna put 2 Double Course Energies into my deck, and then I'm gonna play my Sycamore for 7. If I miss Double Course Energy or Basic Energy, probably I'm gonna cry, but no, I managed to get 3 of them, so I can attach one to my Aerodactyl. I can Dangerous Tentacle his Evil Tall, and that's gonna be it. That's gonna be 120 with the Jet Draft and the knockout for the last 2 prize cards. So this game is over, but it was so dramatically to watch. Okay, so starting second, let's take a look at the opening hand. No basic Pokemon for me. That's just fine. Alright, 7 new cards. 7 new cards. What can it be? Okay, no basic. I would love to see turn 1 Archie, but just with a single Battle Compressor, well, it's not that easy, but it's still possible. Okay, I'm much pleased with this hand because I have energy and so I simply don't want to give my opponent more resources since I'm starting second. Alright. Okay, Muscle Band on his Giratina. I want a Rainbow of Energy, and that's gonna be it. Well, this is the case when you can just... when you need to end your opponent because you also start pretty bad. And you're looking somehow to get that Archie somehow, but yeah, looks like you're not gonna be able to do that. But you can always use Aero Blitz and get something like Computer Search and Battle Compressor. Where is my Battle Compressor? Well, looks like it's surprised. Yeah. Well, in that situation, I'm gonna grab Ultra Ball. Or maybe not. I'm gonna play Sycamore for 7, so it's gonna be 1 Ultra Ball, or maybe even not. It's gonna be 2 copies of all the Amber Aerodactyl. So I might be able to set them up before I decide to go with my Sycamore for 7. So I have 4 old Ambers in my hand, if I count that Fossil Excavation Kit. So there's 1 Max Potion discarded, 1 Prism Energy, 1 Rainbow Energy, Glaceon. Double Course Energy attached down to that Glaceon. Okay, so unfortunately Glaceon will not gonna be a big problem for me. Another old Amber for the first Aerodactyl in display. Fossil Excavation Kit. Could be for maybe 1, maybe 2 Aerodactyls. There we go, 2 Aerodactyls on the bottom 7. What a nice play. Another old Amber, this time for nothing. I can even put my Seismitoad on the bench. Why not? I can. Sycamore for 7, so... Ultra Ball, it's gonna be for Talonflame and a Teammates, and it's gonna be for something like a Omastar, and after that I can Ultra Ball that Omastar and Water Energy in order to get a Aerodactyl. Then I can put my Twist Mountain on the play. Tries to flip a coin. Hit the heads, put the Aerodactyl on the bench, use my Aero Blitz, and before I do that, attach Double Course Energy. Use the Aero Blitz for any 2 cards, which of course are gonna be Computer Search and any other card like Octillery. Because with Computer Search, I can Computer Search for Archie, and then I can have my Octillery or Omastar on the bench. and that's gonna be very powerful, definitely. Prism Energy on the Jolteon, a V-Seeker for another Juniper, so I will definitely have Archie next turn to play. I'm just mind blown how this deck is so strong. It's so beautiful deck to play with it in expanded format. It's a lot of fun with it. Okay. Still Muscle Band can do a good job. In this situation, Computer Search will be for, as I mentioned it earlier, Archie, and Archie is gonna be for that Octillery. Octillery is gonna be for a Beazle Hand, of course, since I already have way too much resources in play. I'm gonna need this Omastar Break for next turn. Oh no, I'm not gonna need Omastar Break for next turn. Just because I decided to take my Octillery instead of the Omastar. I completely forget about Omastar Break. That's the beauty of this build. So, do I have Lysander? I do have Lysander, so I'm thinking about just retreat down to my Aerodactyl and start using my Jet Draft for 120. Yeah, I could have free Lysander each turn with my Dangerous Tentacle, and that's the reason why I decided to take that Omastar Break, but then just later I realized, well, yeah, I can't do too much. Yeah. Okay, so never mind. Still next turn I can just get rid of one special energies, either way from Glaceon or from the Jolteon. This is gonna be N, or maybe not, because I'm going to recycle my N back into my deck. But still I have chance to pull one. Maybe not. Maybe yes. So I'm just thinking about Lysandering and knocking out this Wailus before he actually became Hydreigon. Because I'm gonna have a lot of problems against the Hydreigon, that's for sure. So Computer Search. My turn. My top deck, which is a Float Stone, very powerful. V-Seeker for a Lysander. I can have another Jolteon on his bench, why not? A Beazle Hand just for the single card. And the first knockout in the game. So, no Hydreigon, no chance to heal and move energies. And that's very important. Another double course energy for me. Glaceon can go for the 70, I can have the free retreat, I can go for 120, discard double course energy, and yeah, that's going to be a big problem for my opponent. There is a Max Potion on the Giratina and one Juniper for 7. Well, that's going to be... Well, he had Hydreigon in his hand, so I definitely did a good call. Definitely. Ultra Ball. Will that be for another Dino? I don't know, but I see Shaman in his discard pile, so I will definitely try to get 2 pieces of puzzles. It's for the Darkrai with the Dark Lock. Also, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, speaking about Shaman, it's an easy to prize knockout. Tropical Beach, and he decided to draw cards till he has 7. 1 piece of puzzle in my hand. 1 piece of puzzle in my hand, which means I will just go with my Jet Draft right now for 120, discarding his double course energy. I'm searching definitely for the fastest win here, which is going to be Target Whistle for his Shaman, of course, before he even decides to put something else on his bench with so I can use the advantage of the Target Whistle. But I need 2nd piece of puzzle. I managed to top deck first one, but I don't know when I will be able to get another one. Looks like not yet. energy and another Jet Draft, so I'm going down to 3 cards. Next turn, Jolteon can go for 140 with the Flash Ray, which is gonna be enough for the knockout against my Aerodactyl, since I have weakness on the lightning. And that means only one thing. I can then just use another Jet Draft and knock out his Jolteon. A V-Seeker top deck. Well, that's nice. But what I'm trying to do here is Super Rod, Aerodactyl, Water Energy, and 1 Talonflame back. And then I can Puzzle of Time. But yeah, I'm gonna play 2 more Old Embers. We'll try to dig out somehow another Aerodactyl. Nope, not gonna happen. Okay, so everything I was hoping to get, I managed to get, so 2 pieces of puzzles for me right now are gonna be for Computer Search and for that Target Whistle. And then I can just Target Whistle his Shaming on the bench for 2 more prize cards, since I already attached energy. That's gonna be just Jet Draft for 120, and one of the energies are gonna be discarded. Of course it's gonna be a Rainbow Energy, but it really doesn't matter because Prism Energy is just any type of energy. But yeah. 130, even if I go with the Master Band it would be 150, so not a big deal. For next turn I want to just put my Omastar on the bench and get that Omastar break for the Dangerous Tentacle, so I can just catch his EXs in the front. But more than that, I feel how this is pretty much it. 1 energy for the Swift and for the 30 damage. Which means I can keep going on with my Quaking Punch or even Grenade Hammer. There is 1 Ninja Boy. Okay, that was a dirty play. Swift for 30, no weakness, no resistance. So, Computer Search for Archie and a Talonflame. For Ultra Ball, and then Ultra Ball for a Water Energy and for Fossil Excavation Kit for nothing, and then Special Charge. Oh yeah, not gonna happen. Oh, I'm idiot. Special Charge for the double course energy. Well, I can't play Archie because I'm gonna deck out myself. Just like that. So, in order to prevent myself from decking out, I'm gonna have like a 2 turns. Let's have fun here. Let's have fun, guys, here. There we go. Jet Draft for 120. Let's have some fun here. Max Potion's probably gonna cost me a victory here, but he played 3 of them already. So let's have fun, as I mentioned it. Next turn, retreat to Seismitoad, Quaking Punch, hitting for 30. Not gonna be enough to knock out his active one, but will be enough to knock out his benched one. And at least in that way I can prevent him from being able to play Max Potion. I decided to take double course energy and a Flash Ray for the knockout. So time for the Seismitoad. Well, you need to count on everything, really, even on the N. Even on the N. So I guess in case of the end, is not gonna be... Oh no! Really? Really, did I do that? Oh my goodness. He knocks me out with a flash ray. He get me on that trick. Yeah, I say I will just Quaking Punch him and... Yeah, I'm gonna deck out myself. I didn't do a damage. But yeah, I don't have any more resources here. I can't even use my Dangerous Tentacle. I completely forget about that Giratina, so... I completely forget about Giratina. Let's go Beazle Hand for 0, just because we can, and the Jet Rat for 140. I almost forget that once that Giratina enters the play, I'm not going to be able to use a Restoring Beam, so I could win game a completely different way, but at the end, I lost it, but it's definitely a bad play for me. Alright, so let's do the third and the last game for this Aerodactyl deck test. So it's Expanded Day, and I'm testing my Aerodactyl deck. So I did a couple tweaks in this deck, so it works even better with the Seismitoad inside. I also added Computer Search because in previously build I didn't play Computer Search, but right now I also play one copy of Computer Search. I feel like maybe second Battle Compressor would be even better. I mean, this deck does not run Talonflames or extra drop support as a Shaman, but you can't have everything, unfortunately. So Puzzle of Time, Sycamore for 7. This is gonna be Seismitoad. Already 2 copies of Puzzle of Time in my hands, so I simply don't like to see that. I'm not looking forward to put my Seismitoad yet in play, because it can actually cost me a little bit. I'm gonna do that next turn, and after that I'm gonna use my Aeroblades for Computer Search and for Battle Compressor. And then I think I can pull out Archie without too many problems. Speaking about Archie, I'm thinking about getting that Omastar in play. That's gonna be it. Okay, so Battle Compressor for second Battle Compressor and 2 energies. I don't like Hypnotoxic Laser, not at all. And I'm even asleep. So better for my Talonflame to wake up, because I'm gonna be in serious danger here. Really, I'm gonna be. Computer Search for Ultra Ball and a V-Seeker. Will my opponent play maybe Archie? Archie Darkrai. Yeah, of course that's not gonna happen. Sycamore for 7. Okay, a lot of resources discarded, but I see that Seismitoad, and that's like a nightmare for me because item lock is completely devastation for my build. But without energy on the active Yveltal, for the moment I'm gonna be fine. But as I mentioned it, that's just for the moment. Oh, luckily I wakes up. Oh, Computer Search is top deck. Okay, so Computer Search for Omastar, and then I can Puzzle of Time for any 2 cards. Well, it's gonna be Computer Search as a top deck, and something like Puzzle of Time, because the only thing I can play is a Puzzle of Time, so I can Computer Search my Omastar and Special Charge. And I can get and play something like a Battle Compressor. Then I can Battle Compressor. There we go. Then I can Piece of Puzzle. It really doesn't matter what is going to be next 3 cards, because I have right now my Archie in play. Of course, it's going to be for Omastar, no doubt about it. One restoring beam for me. And I also have that old Amber sitting in my hand. Also, I have that Ultra Ball for next turn, which is going to be very, very big play. More than that, double Course Energy to my Aerodactyl and 1 Aero Blades for 60. Will allows me to take any 2 cards, so I'm thinking about Omastar Break, or maybe not. Old Amber and let it be double Course Energy, not another one. Why not? Okay, that's it. I took 10 damage counters, I have Lysander for next turn, I have another Aero Blitz, but why I simply didn't go for maybe another Archie in this situation? I'm wondering why I didn't go for second Archie here, because I could. Because I simply could. I could just take a Ultra Ball and the V-Seeker and go for the second Archie. There is Jirachi-EX. Okay, definitely like that. There we go, 2 easy price cards next turn. And this is gonna be N, so I'm not gonna complain against it. Not at all. Very, very bad start for my opponent. So, Ultra Ball number 2. Target Whistle. Yes. Target Whistle will be so devastating for my opponent after I manage to knock out his Jirachi and recycle it back. But that's gonna be it. So it's definitely time to run on my bench. It's time for the Ultra Ball. Let it be, let it be. I can still play my V-Seeker for something like the Teammates, but that's gonna be played on my next turn. Dangerous Tentacle, and first Restoring Beam, of course. I can even go for 120 against his Evoltal-EX. And somehow I feel this is gonna be much smarter right now. Well, Jet Red for 120. Next turn I'm gonna have another Archie in play. It's gonna be Archie's Octillery probably, but I desperately need Super Rod because this game can actually end in very bad end for me, so I don't want somehow to discard this Target Whistle, because Target Whistle is key to success in this game. For me, definitely. So 1 Sycamore for 7. The beauty of the game right now is that I can next turn just knock out my opponent with my Aero Blitz. That's the beauty of the game here. Really it is. But then Seismitoad is going to be a problem with the Muscle Bend. And with that Quaking Punch. He couldn't even decide to Quaking Punch right now. He decided to go with the Evil Ball. Alright. How many double course energies he discarded? Just the 1. Let's go for another Archie. We can do that. Ultra Ball for nothing, but there is a Super Rod, so I kinda like that. Let it be another Archie. I can do that. And the Super Rod. That's just fantastic. For 3 Aerodactyls. Okay, so I'm gonna put another Restoring Beam on the bench, another Aerodactyl, but for now I'm not looking forward to attach energy. So since the Quaking Punch might be a problem, I'm thinking also about... No, my biggest concern right now should definitely be that Evoltal-EX. So I don't need to worry too much, I can just knock out that Evoltal, and I can prepare myself for the next turn Quaking Punch. It's still not going to be enough for the knockout. Energy can be attached, Abyssal Hand can be played. More than that, it's just time for the Aeroblitz. It's going to be enough for the knockout, which is the most important thing. I can take Escape Rope, I can take Twist Mountain, Escape Rope and the Twist Mountain. Or maybe even better, yeah, Twist Mountain and something like a DC, just in case, if I will need to retreat. Okay, 2 prize cards for me. I'm down to 4 prize cards, another Twist Mountain. Something tells me don't take a Twist Mountain because you're probably going to regret. 50 plus 60 is going to be 110, so not enough for the knockout without Hypnotoxic Laser, but he already played 3 copies of Hypnotoxic Laser, so there is a tiny chance that he might be able to take another Hypnotoxic Laser, but I'm very satisfied with my bench right now. There's Sycamore for 7, so he's not going to be able to Lysander anything on my bench, and as I mentioned it, once I can just... Another Dark Patch, okay, that's well played. Once I can just knock out his Seismitoad, which I can, with 2 turns, I can then just have a pretty much easy win against that Jirachi. So, Jet Draft for 120, and energy, it's going to be discard from the Seismitoad, so there is no way that he can actually use the advantage of the retreat without Darkness Energy. So, if he can have it, Darkness Energy, he can have it. But yeah, I completely forget to play my Hex Maniac this turn, so I can even shut down his Dark by Dark Cloak ability. Another V Seeker will be for maybe N. Okay, if there was an AZ, he could just AZ his Seismitoad. More than that, I'm going down to 4 cards, but I decided to attach another Double Course Energy on my Aerodactyl just in some crazy case that he can just do something on my active one, so I can retreat and have another one in play. There is a Muscle Band, but yeah, more than that, this is definitely a GG, because there is even one Shaman EX right now on his bench. He's desperately trying to find a way maybe to retreat, but he can't. But what I can do is use another Jet Draft and knock out his Seismitoad-EX for 120 more damage, pull 2 more prize cards, and next turn just goes with my Dangerous Tentacle, Lysandering. It's not a Lysander, but it's ability, Dangerous Tentacle, which can pull one of his EXs from the bench in the active position, and I can just knock them out. So overall, 3 games played, 2 victories, 1 defeat. I mean, I could even have 3 of 3, but that game number 2 was a little bit clunky, a little bit full of the misplays where I actually just underrated my opponent deck, and that's the reason why I lost, and I'm happy that I lost, and I'm glad, because you shouldn't do never that to your opponent. So you should always respect your opponent. That's the most important part of the game.